Got it on.
Good morning. Good morning.
Do you have a cup of coffee?
Oh, a cup of coffee would be lovely. Thank you. What a surprise. Oh, I'm fairly lopsided today. The camera's on a bit of a tilt. So we'll have a lopsided day today. That's fine. I can cope with being lopsided. It's a bit like a Star Trek scene, isn't it? Where they do the spaceship.
You've been drinking?
I've been drinking, yeah. Water.
I'm going to make you a cup of coffee very quickly.
Coffee would be good.
Or it goes horribly pesky.
Great, get the coffee out. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Jane. Good morning, Cos. Good morning, Kerry. Good morning, Heather. Good morning, Sue. Good morning, Kerry. Good morning, Karen. We're on a tilt, aren't we? I might disappear. I don't like touching the camera while. Is that better? Oh, we can see. Look, there's Eric washing his feet. Okay, not so much tilt this morning. Well, we're better. Good morning, Janet. Good morning, Jay, from a wet and windy Cornwall. Yeah, it's a bit damp in Hampshire too. Good morning, Claire. Good morning, Maria. Good morning, Xenia. Good morning, Maharet. Good morning, Christine. Good morning, Leslie Ann. Good morning, Judy. Good morning, Diane. Wow, lots of people. Hello. Welcome to Friday. Cold and cough has almost gone. Cough's just a little bit annoying now, like a lot of things. Good morning, Leslie. I wasn't looking at you. Good morning, Christine. Good morning, Amanda. It is definitely autumnal out there in Hampshire today. Slightly damp underfoot. Definitely autumnal. I have no idea. I do know what we're talking about today. Someone mentioned last week about leaves and twigs. So that's what we're talking about today. The magic of leaves and twigs. Magical items provided by Mother Nature for free. And there are some amazing colour leaves out there at the moment. Good morning, Leslie. Good morning, Debbie. It was our youngest's birthday yesterday, 17. I am now officially the shortest person in our family because he towers above me. So we went out for the day. He went to college. Pete and I had a date day. And Eric. Eric came too. Went to garden centres, sat in cafes. Don't even get me started on garden centres that pretend to be dog friendly. Anyway, lots and lots of autumnal leaves out there. It was absolutely stunning. Good morning, Charlie. Top is lovely. Where's it from? Next, probably. It's a couple of years old. I buy lots of things in their sale. Never pay full price for anything. I buy in sales or from charity shops, but I think it was Next. Good morning, Sarah. Maria went to the woods and the ground has turned golden. Yes, the colours of the leaves at the moment are amazing. Oi, keep the noise down out there.
Yeah.
Keep the noise down out there.
We're emptying the dishwasher. Do you mind?
That's not your job. That's the teenager's job. Good evening, Sephora. Good morning, Sue. Emma, did the thunderstorm we had yesterday come your way? It was awesome. No, we didn't have a thunderstorm. We had our first day off for a while. Got up yesterday morning having been brilliantly sunny for the rest of the week to find torrential rain. But we went out anyway, although it did clear up. We had rain. Didn't really have a thunderstorm. Xenia, leaves like gold, abundance. Oh, leaves have so many uses in magic, and that's what we're going to talk about today. I did go out in the garden and get some too. Cos has mushrooms growing everywhere, very autumnal, thankfully outside. Yeah, mushrooms growing inside, not so good. Yeah, we've got a few in pots and things sort of springing up from nowhere. But yes, autumn is definitely here. Apologies. So leaves and twigs, if you work with leaves or twigs in magic, do pop your ideas, your thoughts, your insights into the comments, and we will share it about. Share the magic. Janet, many trees of gold all around me. Actually, yesterday the predominant colour seemed to be red. Quite a lot of the trees were the beautiful red colour. Of course, Sephora is in New Zealand, so leaves are all fresh and new. Pretty time. It's spring for you. Still makes my head explode that time zones work like that. So yes, share if you work with leaves, share if you work with twigs. So I tend to only pick leaves from plants if they're herbs or the plant is in my garden and needs trimming or cutting back. Other than that, I only collect the leaves if they've actually fallen from the plant. If you are stuck and you need a particular leaf that's still on the tree or on the plant, do ask permission first. Most of them will let you take whatever you need, and the same goes for twigs, really. But I do prefer to pick up fallen leaves and fallen twigs. But sometimes you need something, so just ask, really. Maria, love the red leaves, so pretty. Yes, that seemed to be the favourite colour yesterday, were red ones. Let's get some of these up because I like making mandalas with twigs and leaves. I find out and about. Mandalas are one of my favourite things to work with. They are so magical. Thank you.
Is there cake?
We've got cookies actually, haven't we? No, I'll have one later. Thank you. Chocolate chip, chocolate shortbread cookies, just in case you're wondering. Yes, mandalas. I love to make them. You can use them for so many different magical intents. I do work mandalas with nature items, but I do add in crystals. I add in tarot, oracle cards, business cards, all sorts of things, candles. They are such a useful thing to work with for magic. Jane, our sycamore started chucking down its huge leathery leaves. The shredder's got its work cut out, but it's worth it for all that lovely compost. Yes, leaves are very good for compost too. Absolutely. Good morning, Barbara. Sue, make a burnable herb spell by sewing 3 bay leaves together to make a little pouch. You are very industrious. I can sew. It's boring. I'd never thought about sewing the leaves together though. If you get the really big leaves, they do make really nice spell pouches. I'd never thought of sewing them together. Good idea. Good morning, Andrea. Xenia, glorious coffee. Yes, this is my superfood coffee. Oh, yum. Heather says, well done. Emma, I've seen ogham staves made with twigs. Never been brave enough myself to strip them back a bit to burn the symbols into them. Ogham or ogham, both ways of saying it are perfectly acceptable, are associated with trees, so it makes sense to make them out of twigs. I have a set. I've had a bit of a tidy up so that Pete can fit some more vinyl onto the shelves. And I can't remember where my ogham set's right over the other side. I have an ogham set that was that little grey box under the tinkly things.
Under the food covers.
They are not boob covers.
That's something from a carry-on.
Anyway, my ogham staves are from the fabulous Freya's Cauldron. Aren't they fab? Look. I think they're fantastic. Really, really clever. So yes, but make them out of twigs is brilliant because they are all associated with trees. Good morning, Candy and Keith. 4 a.m. in Indiana. Wow. Love leaves. Altar is covered in them. Yeah, they are very special. Sephora, we have planted for splendid leaf variety, for colour and some for teas. Maples are brilliant for colour, aren't they? mulberry for tea, for the gouty one, and some for the colour of the wood, reds, yellows, and brown. Yes, I noticed their dogwood is bright red at the minute. Xenia, an altar dedicated to vinyls. You can see the vinyl behind me, that side, and all along there. I've had to clear this shelf now because
Had to. It was a vinyl shelf. You were encroaching, madam.
I had to clear out stuff for more vinyl.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, yeah, they are very small. They would be very small covers, Marie, wouldn't they? Sephora says it's a bit chilly for boob covers. Oh yeah, cold metal. Oh yeah, no, you don't want that. Good morning, Andrea. Xenia, nice Ogham staves. They are, aren't they? They came in my Freya's Cauldron box a couple of months ago. They are fabulous. Good morning, Angela, from a warm and sunny France. Bonjour, ça va? Janet, showing off. Janet, I don't know what I said. Making a little altar with some leaves to honour my ancestors. Nice, very nice. Leaves do work really well on your altar. Jane, making your own Ogham staves is a real mission to find each variety of tree for its twigs. Yes, I started many years ago. I don't think I've even got half of them yet. Be a nice autumn project for a witchy outing. It would, yes. Oh, yes, good point, Heather. Don't have to burn the fire for fee onto the figs. Or figs? Right, let's have some coffee.
Sure you don't want that cake?
I'll save myself for the cake. Don't have to burn the feet onto the twigs. Use pens. Sharpies. Absolutely brilliant for drawing on twigs. And the little discs of wood as well work really well. You can buy them from craft stores. Christine, my hawthorn is a lovely shade of orangey red and it's absolutely overloaded with berries, a sign of a bad winter, apparently. Yes, the pyracantha that grows up the side of our garden from next door is covered in bright orange berries. That is absolutely full of them. Good morning, Louise. Grey and mozzie here. Colour of the trees, best I've seen. Yeah, they are fantastic at the moment. Karen made her own set of Ogham with all the different woods. I think they're brilliant. Kerry, what do you do with staves? What are they for? Oh, it's a divination. It's a method of, well, it's an alphabet and a set and a divination set. These shapes, the line with the other lines on, is an ancient alphabet. But these on the staves are used for divination purposes. Each one represents a tree and each one has a meaning. I happen to have a little thing here, look. You can see them all there. And each one. So there's oak, holly, alder, willow, blackthorn, all different trees, and each different tree has a meaning. So you read with them like you would runes. But you can also use those symbols to carve into candles for magical purpose, and it makes an alphabet too. Lots of uses. Good morning, Jenny. Sephora, thinking about the verbenas and cotonista, they also have splendid berries. Imagine they can fall into this category as well. Absolutely. I have got, well, I went out into the garden this morning and I picked, it doesn't have to be leaves of the trees either. It can be leaves from any leaves from plants. So I have one here, which is from the dogwood that we've got outside. This one had fallen off. Quite a nice size. So you could write on it with a Sharpie. You could just send your wishes into it. You can write you get a few words on there if you wanted to write it and use it as a petition paper. You can bury it in the earth then. You can drop it into running water. You can burn it in a fire or just light it from a candle. If you don't want to write on the actual leaf or the leaf is too small to write on, you could hold it in both hands, lift it up to your face and whisper your wish into it. Fold it over and then allow the wind to take it away. Bigger leaves make excellent wrappings, as we said, for charms, for spells that need to be buried or burnt. And you can bring in the magical property of the plant or the tree by using a corresponding leaf as well, if you want to. Little leaves, such as these ones. This is from one of the aces in our garden. I didn't steal the leaf, it had fallen off. Beautiful colours, beautiful shape, this one. You can't really write anything on that one, but you can add them into spell pouches. You can dry them. You can press them into candles to stick them onto side of candles to decorate them with. You can use them in spell pouches. You can add them to incense blends once they're dried. The little ones are really pretty on the side of candles, but also just excellent size for spell pouches. And I have, what else have I got here? Oh, that one would work well. So this one is from a begonia. This one I work with for dragon magic. I'm surrounded by dragon magic at the moment. I always have been, but the last couple of weeks they've been out in full force. So I work with begonia leaves, dragon magic, because it looks like a dragon's wing. But also this one's quite good for the veins. So if you have a look at the veins, they are reaching out from the stem to the ends of the leaf, and they're forming pathways. So the pathways can be used for meditation to take you on a journey. So you start in the center and follow each vein out for your meditation. That's quite fun and interesting to do. And of course, each leaf will be different and each one will take you on a different journey. Each leaf carries the magic of the tree or the plant and those specific properties. You can ask the tree or the plant what energy it can lend to your magic, or you can look up the correspondences. It's entirely up to you. Let's get lots of comments. I'm winging back. Okay, Maria, I have leaves including holly and pieces of bark and twigs. Leaves on both of mine. Do this every year for years now. Yeah, bark is also really good to work with as well. To detect a domestic issue in the Patterson kitchen. No, it was unloading the dishwasher. So, bless him. Jane, it's been what they call a good mast year in these parts. Lots of nuts, berries, etc. Got to build up a winter larder for all the little creatures. Yes, a couple of years ago, we couldn't find acorns for love nor money. This year, they're out in abundance. Good morning, Tony. Problems with the coffee machine. That's not good. Sephora, is Ogham English or Celt? It is Irish, I believe. It's not. I do work a little bit with it. I like to use them in spells. I like to use the symbols to carve onto candles and things. But yes, I believe it's Irish. Louise made some air dry clay decorations for my seasonal twigs and carved Ogham symbols in for me and all my family. Perfect. Angela, we have a variety of beautiful trees in our garden. I collect the fallen or pruned twigs and make wands. Twigs, brilliant for wands, obviously. Oghams and all sorts of other things from them. Getting quite a collection. Jane, amazing coincidence. I was reading about a chap who reads Ogham staves in a years-old copy of Fate and Fortune only last night. It is an ancient system. An ancient system. Fate and Fortune, yes. I write a regular column for them. Claire, can you tell me any magical signs of hawthorn berries, twigs, any purpose in these? Absolutely. Let's get to the book. Hawthorn. Associate hawthorn more with sort of Beltane time of year, I must admit.
Is that one of your books you're looking at?
Oh, yes, it is one of my books.
Great tell. What is it? Which one?
What are you like? It is the magical plants and herbs. So
Thank you for telling me.
hawthorn. Oh, it's going to be a long day. So hawthorn, obviously you can work with the flowers, the leaves, and the thorns of hawthorn as well. Hawthorn thorns are very good for working spells with. It works really well for love workings and spells. It is a tree of the fairy. It is a gateway to the world of fairy. The white flowers, followed by the red berries, have long been associated with fertility. Mayday circlets were often made of hawthorn, adding more energy to the fertility properties. You can dry hawthorn berries, thread them onto cotton, and hang them around your house, or sprinkle the berries around your boundary because they bring in protection. Add hawthorn berries to your floor wash to purify your house. Add it to workings where you require forgiveness. So it's protection, it's hope, it's warding against evil. Apparently it was used to protect against witches. But although witches were also said to shapeshift into hawthorn trees to have a rest before they flew on through the night. So hawthorn is happiness, fertility, love, protection, purification, forgiveness, fairies, and hope. There you go, hawthorn. Lots and lots of uses for hawthorn. Christine, just a note, don't pick up all the leaves yet. Yes, as butterflies and other creatures hide under the leaves for the winter. Yeah, don't go sweeping them all up. Leave them there, or don't tidy them up till the spring. So leave them all there. Louise, we could all whisper for peace into a leaf. Yeah, we could do with some of that, couldn't we? Angela, I keep a bay leaf in my purse for prosperity. Bay leaves are brilliant for working spells with. Particularly good. They're good for wishes. So if you write your wish on a bay leaf and then send it to the winds, bury it or burn it. Absolutely.
A bottle of Baileys.
Absolutely. Not a bottle of Baileys. Like, yeah, bay leaves particularly good. Jenny, not leaf or twig, but in the ancient Blean woodlands where the bison had been reintroduced, they just announced the birth of an unexpected baby bison. Oh, fabulous. Brilliant. Claire, I love writing on bay leaves, my intentions and all the smell. Once burnt, bay leaves are very good for wishes and very good for cleansing and purifying as well. Karen, I make tree essences to use in magic. Brilliant. Jane, I badly need to trim our sage back so the trick or treat kids can get in the gate. There's enough to make a mountain of smudge sticks. The sage, obviously, brilliant for smudge sticks. Janet, I always leave some leaves and twigs for all the critters to have a warm winter home. Yes, don't go sweeping them up yet, but you can pick up odd ones to use in magic, obviously. Andrea, my begonia's not looking healthy. I asked at the garden centre and the lady said it was either too much water or not enough. And no more specific than that. The begonias in the garden obviously are hardy, so they will at some point come to the end of their life. But we had a really hot summer, don't forget, and I think the begonias really, really struggled with that. But yeah, not helpful, is it? Not enough or too much. Heather's put a link to a Kitchen Witch blog post about the hawthorn tree. So lots of information on there. Christine, Christine wants to know if you're on commission or are you just a good salesman? He's the one that pushes me to market and promote my stuff. Xenia, I learned in an online talk that Ogham is Gaelic and the Scottish girls pronounce the G, whereas the G is Irish Gaelic, is silent. Yes, you are absolutely correct. I haven't done any further research on it, but found it interesting. Yes, Ogham or Ogham. Just two different languages, two different ways of pronouncing it. Same word, same thing. Jane, can you put hawthorn thorns in witch bottles? Absolutely. Put any thorns in witch bottles, work really well. Barbara, I use the large twigs from my yard to make spirit dolls. Excellent. Spirit dolls are great fun to make and they work really well with twigs. Candy, I have a hawthorn in my front yard. Tell everyone it's a protective tree and loved by the fae. It is indeed. It is indeed. Maria, haven't seen that many acorns on the ground for years, though. We seem to have had a profusion of them this year. Jane, imagine a whole big group of people all whispering into leaves. So powerful. There are two views, actually, on group spells. I'll put them out there and you can decide how you feel about it. So one idea is that if you are a coven, if you are a group of people that are used to working together, then your magic is powerful because you trust the person in the circle next to you. And if you are working a joint spell, all for the same purpose, then you are focused and your purpose is honed and true, and you're all working together for the same goal. It works. It's powerful because you are a group of people that work together all the time and you trust each other. So that spell is almost guaranteed to work. If you put a spell out there and lots of people across the globe work it, the other thought is that it's not going to be as powerful because you don't know the other people. You're not used to working with them. And their intentions may not be as pure or exactly the same as yours. So there are two views about how well a world spell or a large group of people across the world spell works. I think if you're all, aiming for the same idea, there's no harm in it. But how well it works, how much it comes together, the idea is that it might be a bit off kilter because not everyone trusts each other, works with each other, or is aiming for the same intent. So I'm just putting it out there. You can make your own mind up about that one. Zephora, as a gardener, I feel quite brutal at the moment as I prune, take cuttings and mulch, but I'm very thankful for the abundance our trees provide. And of course, leaf mulch is gardener's gold. Yes, we will be mulching in the next few days, ready for the winter. Maria, my begonia self-seeded is blooming outside. Mine is still covered in brilliant flowers at the minute, but it did struggle during the summer with that very, very dry lack of rain. Because my garden is full of trees. I'm very lucky. Discovered a rowan tree in there earlier in the year, hiding amongst the others. Fantastic. Lived here for 10 years and never knew it was there. We have a rowan in the garden too. He's called Joe. Yeah, we name quite a lot of their trees and plants. He's got white, yellow, creamy colour berries rather than the red ones. But he's got lots of berries on him this year too. Sephora, while you have your wonderful book out, can you tell me if witch hazel tree has magic? Absolutely. Planted one for my aunt when she passed as she had red hair and it made me think of her. Every plant has magic. You might not necessarily find them all in magical books. They might not have traditional meanings, but every plant has magic. And every plant will have its own individual character and personality too. So my rowan tree might be different magically to Coz's rowan tree because they're different individual trees. Each one has its own personality. But let's have a look at witch hazel, you said, didn't you? It's just different to hazel. Witch hazel. Let's have good. Oh, very protective, obviously. Not obviously, but very protective. It also makes really good divining rods. The rods can help you find underground sources of water and also very good for helping you find lost items. Witch hazel is very good for overcoming grief and finding inner emotional balance. I've got to post it on this page. Obviously, I needed it for something. So, witch hazel, protection, divining, balance, and overcoming grief. Ruled by the sun and Saturn, and it's a fire element, masculine one. So, protection would be my go-to for witch hazel. But yeah, definitely magical. If you're not sure what the plant's magical properties are, And actually, as a general rule of thumb, talk to the plant, connect with the energy of the plant and ask it what it can help you with. I very rarely look things up when I'm working magic. I will just trust my intuition and look at the ingredients I've got in my cupboard, kitchen cupboard, magical cupboard, in the garden, whatever it might be. And I will pick whatever bits I'm drawn to for that spell. Intuition will never let you down. Jane, I think some of our plants are having a delayed summer. It's all over the place. Rose of Sharon and the Kerria are now in flower, and there's red valerian everywhere. We've got a delphinium flowering in the garden, which didn't flower in the summer. So, yeah. Salvia's taking over the world. You blink, and our whole garden's going to be covered with salvia, I think. We'll find it tapping on the door in the morning. Salvia tapping on the...
Asking for a coffee.
Yeah, asking for a coffee and a biscuit. Christine, after the windstorm, a lot of branches are falling off local trees. Yeah, after you've had a storm, it's a brilliant time to go out and collect nuts and seeds and twigs and leaves, because nature will have thrown them all on the floor for you. Collect some of them to spray with silver or gold to decorate a flower arrangement. Nice. Also put them in a vase and put little straw-made animals and leaf fairies. Oh, fantastic. Lovely, lovely idea. Maria, everything has energy, especially trees. I find I can feel their energy just by touching them. Perfect. And they're also very grounding. They are. Big trees, I tend to ask permission first before I approach. Some of them are old and tired and do not want to be messing about with humans. So before you go and ask it a question or interfere with its energy, just ask if it's okay to approach. Most of them are all right, but, you know. Zephora, very interesting about witch hazel. I wonder if I asked nicely if it could help me find my Apple pencil. The pixies have got it. Leave an offering. Put out some honey or some milk. Xenia, my idea. Publishing a spell so everyone can do it on their own means that people can do it when they are in their power and focused and undisturbed. As a solitary, I sometimes don't feel like doing something with people at a time set by others, because that day I might not be in my power or stressed by everyday tasks, etc. Absolutely, which is another kind of side to the all doing a spell at the same time across the world, because not everyone's going to be in the right frame of mind at that time. So, you know, anything that's working towards peace or general, let's, you know, sort this world out, it's got to be a good thing. Jane, I asked you, Euphorbia, what magic it could do. I think a wicked Jack Nicholson grin would spread across it. As I say, every plant has its own personality. They all have characteristics, and they, as I say, there are listings in books, not just my books, but on the internet all over the place. But things like, I also picked a hookah. I did pick this leaf. I asked if I could have it. This is a hookah leaf. This one's called licorice, I think. It doesn't really show on the camera, but it is a brilliant, the back's more. It's a brilliant purple colour. Hookahs come in all different shades. We've got lime green ones and orange ones, bright cherry red ones. I think we've got one called cake frosting, another one called cherry cola. This one's licorice, all food. But hookah leaves are nice size for working spells with. You can wrap things in them, but they don't have a traditional meaning to them. So you have to work with each individual plant to find out what it can help you with. They are in my Flower Magic Oracle, I think. So it is, and begonias the same. Begonias don't tend to appear in magical books or references. So you've got to connect to the energy of the plant to find out what it can do for you. I tend to use clematis as a good example, because that's not found in books generally. Look at how the plant grows. So clematis climbs. This is clematis climbing. It twists and it climbs. So I think it's really good for binding spells because of the way that it twists and grips onto things. And I think it's also really good for spells to reach your goals because clematis climbs like a loony. So have a look at how the plant grows. Have a look at the colour. You can bring colour magic into it. Have a look at the size and the shape of the leaves, like begonia. leaves like a dragon, so it works really well for dragon magic. Use your intuition and connect with that energy. Colour, shape, size, how it grows, colour of the flowers, whether it has berries, and tie all that in to your magical intent. Willow Moon. I've stopped taking snips of elder now to work with. I just go and sit under the elder tree if I need its properties. I still ask first, perhaps not in the winter. It's judging. It's judging how each one is and how it works. Claire, I've just ordered myself a little tree book. Actually, I think it's arriving today. Perfect. Good timing. Angela, I collect sycamore seeds, snip the seed bit off and paint the wing that's left and give them to my granddaughters, telling them they're fairy wings that shed as they grow. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Diane has hooker cherry cola. Fantastic colour, isn't it? Christine's a hookerolic too. Yes, we've got quite a lot of them.
Low maintenance, great colour.
They are low maintenance and really good colour. Diane. Damn vine weevils. Oh, we've managed to escape those two at the moment. Oh, Eric's just thrown his toy on the floor. That was the noise. One of Hooker's common names is London Pride, so maybe you could use it for mundane magic related to where you live in your local community. Nice idea. Very nice idea. That as well. Bring in the name of the plant as well, and that adds to the magic of it. Hannah, I love red leaves. I think I need its red colour energy. Colour magic. I work with colour magic all the time. Brilliant way to work magic and to draw magic from things. So lots and lots of leaves. I've got another Acer one here as well, which is a more orangey colour. I like the shape of Acer leaves. But they can be used in all sorts of different magical spell working. I have some things here. Folklore, myths and magic, taken from Witchcraft into the Wilds book.
Ooh, you have one there.
Oh, do I have a book? Yes. Make a circlet from fresh hazel leaves and wear it to bring good luck, protection and to grant wishes. On a Friday, after midnight, in complete silence, gather together 9 holly leaves. Wrap the leaves up on a piece of white cloth using 9 knots and tie the ends together. Place this under your pillow and your dreams will come true. These are obviously folklore things. The oracle at Delphi was said to chew on bay leaves and inhale the smoke to help them receive visions. Although I saw a program recently, we watched a really interesting one about Delphi where the archaeologists have gone in. And apparently the land that the oracle building actually stood on has faults in the rock and gases come up through those faults. So they think that all of the priestesses that were the oracles at Delphi were probably inhaling some fairly noxious gases, which might have caused their visions, which explains quite a lot. Laurel or bay leaves were worn for protections against the sky gods. Doctors also wore bay leaves, laurel leaves, to protect against illness. Ancient kings wore crowns made from oak leaves because it was a symbol of the god they represented on earth. Rowan leaves and berries were carried to protect against witches. And apparently to also keep the cows from being enchanted. I don't know what the connection is there. Holly has a Christian connection in that it was said the leaves represented the thorns from Jesus's crown and the berries his drops of blood. Although it seems that this goes further back in time, a boy was often selected from the village to wear a suit of holly leaves, ouch, and a girl wore a suit of ivy. They were then paraded around the village to bring nature and fertility to the dark part of the year. Holly leaves were also brought into the house to protect against evil spirits and mischievous fairies. Hawthorn branches were cut for May Day, but only to decorate the outside of the house. To bring hawthorn inside was thought to bring illness and bad luck. Hawthorn leaves can also be eaten. Do make sure that you've actually identified them as hawthorn before you stuff them in your gob. The folk name for them is bread and cheese because that's what they taste like. ish. Sprig cut from the hawthorn that grows outside St John's Church in Glastonbury is sent each year to the Queen. Oh, I wonder if they'll now send that to the King. I'm assuming so. Burn hazel leaves for love and prosperity. Put ash leaves under your pillow to bring psychic dreams and visions. Put a bowl of water next to your bed and float some ash leaves in it to prevent illness. Place blackberry leaves around your home to return evil and bad luck to any person that might send it to you, and also to remove unwanted spirits. Lots and lots of leaf folklore. That's just a small amount of them. Christine, leaves make awesome pictures when painted on their veins. It makes awesome. You can do printing with the leaves as well if you paint them and print them onto paper.
We did that at school, didn't
We did used to do that at school. And also, if you're thinking about making some orgum or runes or anything like that, little discs of clay, you can press the leaf into the back of into the top of the clay, and you'll get the print of the veins on it as well.
It's better than Blue Peter.
It is Blue Peter, yeah. Get your sticky back plastic. I haven't got one I made earlier. Emma, I carry tiny blackthorn twigs with me to protect and give myself confidence to protect myself. Brilliant. Blackthorn thorns are really good for doing that as well. Candy saw that show as well. It was very interesting. Oh, thank you, Heather. Heather has put a post to the Witchcraft into the Wilds, Working Magic with Nature. Thank you.
She's good, that girl.
She's good, yeah. Claire, can you tell me about pine sap to burn? Is this worth looking out for? When do you find it? I've never seen it, but my cousin collects it. Pine sap's interesting. It's a resin. So I think as witches, we're probably very used to working with frankincense, myrrh, copal, dragon's blood resin. It's all sap from trees. I'm actually very keen, if you hadn't worked it out yet, to use items that are found locally to me. And much as I love frankincense and myrrh, it has to come from the other side of the globe. So I have been looking at pine resin because pines grow in England. You can use it exactly the same as you would frankincense or myrrh. It is a resin. So you can burn it in your incense blends. You can grind it up to use as sachet powder. Pine, lots and lots of magical workings for pine. It's very good for cleansing and purifying. It's also very good for prosperity. I remember that because I do use pine quite a lot. It is for centering, focus, dragon magic, protection, truth, abundance, purification, fertility, and healing. So pine is actually really useful for lots of things. If you're having a real Yule tree this year, save your pine needles because they are brilliant to use in magical workings. But yes, pine resin, use it exactly as you would myrrh or frankincense or copal, any of the resins, but particularly good in incense blends. Hannah, I have a thing about collecting things in threes. I have a twig with 3 oak leaves, a twig with 3 acorns, a sycamore seed with 3 wings. 3 is such a magical number. It really is the power of 3. Very, very magical number. And I think you will find a lot of us work with 3s. Claire, paint pens are great for printing them. Press them onto pebbles. They look lovely. Brilliant idea. Thank you. Jane, I know this is nuts and not leaves. Hey, this is us. Do we ever stick exactly to the theme? But a word of warning to anyone thinking of making a circle of hazelnuts out of doors for a ritual. Don't do what I did years ago and used imported hazelnuts. Make sure they're indigenous because squirrels will steal them and plant trees all over the place, and it's not good to plant a non-native species. Very wise words, Jane. Thank you. Yes, wise words. Pay attention. I'm just skimming past things. Let's have a look. Cos, you can also make little leaf art representation of animals to work with, both the leaf and animal magic. I think we need to see pictures of that, Cos. That sounds fantastic. Heather, have you found a source for pine resin? Actually, I haven't looked yet. We were talking about this a while back, weren't we? Heather's one of my gang. We did have a conversation about pine resin a long while back. No, I think we should make that a mission. Definitely. We'll look into that. Hannah, hedgehog pics are good to make with leaves. Oh, yes, leaves would make brilliant hedgehog pictures. Sephora, that's interesting. Our kauri tree has resin oozing. We'll see if it's safe to use. Don't know that one, but yes, definitely worth investigating. Claire, I've never seen it, not barely ever. See pine trees where I am, and I love those big cones. Thank you. We'll ask about it, definitely. And pine cones, of course. Pine cones are brilliant to work magic with because they carry all of the magic that a pine tree does. And they make really good Christmas decorations too, because add glitter and you're away. Emma, we haven't gone on a wide tangent yet. What's going on? Well, we still got a few minutes yet, Emma. We did a DIY retreat in Glastonbury last week, and one of our ladies had us making mini altar besoms with pine needles. I like the sound of that. That sounds brilliant. Fantastic. So on from leaves to twigs, because someone asked about twigs last week too. Obviously, the twigs carry the magical energy of the tree or the plant as well. As I say, I'd recommend looking on the ground to see what has been dropped rather than actually taking or cutting a twig directly from the tree. The trees usually provide enough twiggy gifts without the need for cutting. Twiggy gifts, do you like that? If you do need to cut a twig or a small branch from a tree, please do ask permission first. Or, if sometimes trees and shrubs need trimming, just tell it what you're doing. Talk to it. And make sure that you use sharp secateurs and cut cleanly, because you don't want to cause the plant more distress than you need to. But twigs can be made into all sorts of magical items, from wands, obviously, to twig crafts, to a fetish. Not that type of fetish, a magical fetish. They can be burnt in ceremonial magical fires because they bring the property of that tree into your working once you burn it. Lots and lots of things. Weave twigs into a crown or a circlet. Put hazel twigs on your windowsill to bring protection from storms. Hang 3 hazel twigs, number 3 again, tied together on the side of your house to protect against fire. You can use small Y-shaped branches for divination. You can use them like dowsing rods. And of course, we're coming up to that time of the year when you can burn your Yule log to receive prosperity over the coming year, traditionally an ash, but go with it. Wearing ash bark is said to protect against powerful magic. I'm assuming you don't need to actually make an outfit out of bark. Just a small piece will do. If you have a poorly child and you have a split trunk of an ash tree, you might have one lying around in your area, get them to climb through the split in the trunk. It is said to bring healing. Ash wood makes good broom handles and wands because of its strength and its protective properties. You can make an amulet from ash twigs to bring out healing. It also brings solar energy as well. So tie 2 small ash twigs together into an equal arm cross. If you add in yellow ribbon or thread and then charge it in the sun, you've got a brilliant healing solar energy charm. Carve a wish into a beech stick. It helps you connect with the spirit and to the divine. Carry small pieces of beech bark with you for luck and success. I will put these all on the blog. I'm not going to test you. Grind up a small piece of beech wood and pop the powder into your right shoe to bring good fortune. It's got to be the right shoe. Birch bark, really good for protection spells. Birch wood also works well for your Yule logs, along with ash. Birch twigs are excellent for lighting your Beltane fires. And birch twigs are traditionally used for making your witch's besom. Dry out pieces of birch bark and then write spells on them. Actually, bark itself is really good if you get a thin piece of bark for writing your spells on and using for petitions. Brilliant to do. Hi, Corian. Hannah, make decorations with fallen twigs, and my wand was made from a fallen twig. Brilliant. If you get 5 twigs, you can make a pentagram. Tie the twigs at each point and you can shape it into a pentagram. First time actually joining live, welcome. Great topic. Love working with twigs and branches in my art magic. Brilliant. Christine, pine cones when dried are great to add to incense as they smell lovely when burnt. Absolutely. Pine cones are just so good to work with for magic. Charlie, what's the difference in the energy of a twig or a leaf from the same tree? None. If you have both, why would you pick one over the other in a spell? They all carry the energy of the tree. So it doesn't matter if you work with the twig, the leaf, the seed, the flower, the bark. It all carries the same energy of that tree. I think it boils down to how you use it or what you want to use it for. So a leaf, if it's big enough, is good to wrap your spell in or to write your spell on. A twig you could carve a word or a symbol into, or you can burn it or tie it into a fetish. Seeds, flowers, they can all be added. Small twigs, dried leaves can all be added to spell pouches or witch bottles. I think it depends on what you're using it for from a practical point of view, but they all carry the same energy. So whatever the tree offers you is whatever you need to use. Yes, that's what I was trying to say and couldn't get the word out, Xenia. Make pentagrams from twigs tied together and place in your home and use the properties of the trees. Jane, is it buddleia or elder twigs you're not supposed to burn because the old girl don't like it? That's elder. I can't remember. If I can't burn it, I'll shred and compost it. Elder has a huge amount of folklore tied into it. I don't know if I wrote it in here, but yes, elder has the spirit of the witch with it. So you are supposed to ask permission. Let's have a look here. It's another fairy tree as well. Yes, if an elder self-seeds in your garden, it is said that the Earth Mother has chosen to protect your house. Don't cut the elder down without asking permission from the Earth Mother first. Preferably, of course, don't cut any trees down, but, sometimes if the elder's growing right in the middle of your lawn, it has a bit of a mixed message with elder. It's been called a tree of life, but also a tree of the devil. It was needed for its medicinal purposes, but also feared to be a witch's plant. Can't win, really. But yes, it's elder. Elder has the particular spirit within it. Corrigan, I make ash twig crosses with red thread for protection. Perfect. Perfect. Diane, yes, elder is the one that you shouldn't burn. Claire, all the children at the school I work at all love the helicopters. They stick them on their noses like Pinocchio. Trudy, wrapped dried birch bark around a jam jar tied with jute. Uses a tea light holder. The light shines magically through natural holes in the bark. Fantastic. Attach cones, leaves, etc. Whatever your intent might be. That sounds brilliant. That sounds absolutely brilliant. But yeah, I use whatever you're gifted, really, whether it is a pine cone or pine needles or leaves or twigs or nuts or whatever Mother Nature gives to you. It's all free to use. She provides, which is what the Witchcraft into the Wilds book is all about. It's about working magic with things that Mother Nature provides for free. And sticks, twigs, leaves, they all carry the energy of the tree or the plant. And it doesn't have to be a tree. It can be anything that's in your garden. Even the old bedding plants, herbs, shrubs, whatever it might be. Every single plant carries a magical energy. And every single plant will have its own unique and individual personality and character. So tap into that energy and find what it can help you with. Write on the leaves, carve into the bark or the twigs for your wishes, your magic, your spells. Add them to spell pouches, add them to witch bottles, dry them and add them to incense blends. There's so many uses for them. And it's all magic for free, which is always good. Karen, I didn't know that about elder. Mine has seeded across the other side of the garden. It's black lace elder. Beautiful, beautiful. Jane says, is there such a thing as a non-self-seeded elder? They do have that habit, don't they? They do have that habit. Diane's grown them from softwood cuttings. Nice. Debbie has oak, birch, pine, sweet chestnut, hazel and bay in my garden. Love my trees. Very, very nice selection. But as to, even if you don't, I mean, my garden's quite small, but we do have a couple of trees in there. Rowan in particular are quite good for small gardens. Work with the plants, shrubs, plants, even pot container plants. It doesn't matter. They've all got magical energy. Blade of grass has got magical energy. So, everything. A weed, your dandelion, they've all got magical energy, and Mother Nature provides it all for free. So tap into it and use it. So I think that's it for this week. Next week, I will talk about Samhain, because it is that time of the year.
A Samhain ritual happening, isn't it?
There is a Samhain ritual.
Oh.
Prompted by my marketing manager.
Mm-hmm.
Sunday the 30th, if my brain remembers correctly.
It's up there.
Oh, there's a link there. So Samhain online ritual, open to everyone, Sunday 30th of October, 7 p.m. UK time, over on the Kitchen Witch Coven Facebook page and YouTube channel. I am also talking about I'm also talking about nature spirits, dryads, interestingly. Talking about trees today. I'm going to be talking about dryads and elementals for the College of Psychic Studies, Saturday the 29th of October. So hop on over to their website and have a look. 3-hour workshop, that one is.
Wandering Witches in a couple of weeks.
Wandering Witches, yeah, if you are local, 5th of November, Wandering Witches in, I want to say Horndean. Is it Horndean? Cowplain, thank you.
Saturday the 5th.
Cowplain, Saturday 5th of November. Fantastic local shopping event for all us witches. Same day, Saturday 5th of November at 7 p.m. I'm doing an online book launch for Witch for Every Season. I'll be giving away a book or two as well. So join me for that. That's open to everyone. So loads going on, as always. And thank you, as always, for joining me. You're a bit worn out, are you? We had a long day out yesterday, didn't we? And you didn't get your normal 16 hours of sleep. Yeah. So thank you all for joining me. Anything you want me to talk about in particular in the future, just message me and I'll do my very best to do it. And as always, all the replays, all on YouTube, all on my Facebook page, if you want to catch up with them. Other than that, have a fantastic weekend, everyone. If you are a Kitchen Witch student, I'm doing healing in the student Facebook page on Saturday evening as well. So thank you, everyone. Have a fantastic weekend. I will hopefully see some of you online in the next couple of weeks, or some of you at the Wandering Witches. Eric would like to say, have a fantastic weekend. Take care, everyone.